having been elected for the 4th term as a member of the House of Representatives, representing Isukwatu Umunochi Federal Constituency of Abia State. In my over 11 years of being a member of the House of Representatives, I have served my constituents and Nigeria diligently with distinction. I have sponsored several motions and bills, conducted oversight over multiple activities and initiatives of government ministries, departments, and agencies, and helped deliver meaningful constituency projects to the people of Isukwatu Umunochi Federal Constituency that I represent. I have chaired very important committees of the House of Representatives, including committees of Aviation and Women in Parliament. As the chairperson of the Aviation Committee of the House of Representatives for 2 sessions now, I oversighted the successful building of the new international airport terminal in Abuja and Port Harcourt, as well as the remodeling and renovation of several other airports and runways across the country. I believe that I am very well equipped with knowledge and experience and integrity needed to manage bigger responsibilities. It is in the light of this that I offer myself for consideration by my colleagues for a higher responsibility as a presiding officer and Speaker of the House of Representatives of the 9th Assembly. As a member of the All Progressive Congress, APC, who struggled against all odds to win a re-election under very difficult circumstances in Abia State, I believe that my party, the APC, has a lot to do to help consolidate on the significant victory that the party recorded in winning this House of Representatives seat in Abia State, where my party has made important gains in its electoral fortune in the southeast of Nigeria. I know that my party has stated indications as to how it would like to see the distribution of key National Assembly leadership positions. It is, however, important to point out the concerns of my people of the Southeast geopolitical zone. We are worried that an inequitable distribution of presiding officers' position in the National Assembly would exacerbate the current deep divides in the country, worsen the sense of marginalization of the Southeast in Nigeria, and create a lopsidedness in the distribution of the top 6 positions in the country. With the Northwest and Southwest already taking the first 2 most important political positions in the country of President and Vice President, it will be equitable that the next 4 positions of Senate President, Speaker, Deputy Senate President, and Deputy Speaker be shared equitably among the remaining 4 geopolitical zones of Northeast, North Central, Southeast, and South-South. The message from my people of the Southeast geopolitical zone of Nigeria is that they demand equity in representation. I also think that as a woman who has distinguished herself and contributed immensely to the development of Nigeria and to the good political and electoral fortunes of my party, the APC, in the Southeast, leading to our emergence as the party of choice at the national level, the APC should use the opportunity of my expression of interest in the position of Speaker of House of Representatives to fulfill its promise to Nigerians that it will increase women participation in governance of the country. In presenting myself for the position of Speaker, I commit to, number 1, improve communications with the general public. First and foremost, we are here because of the people we represent. We are elected representatives and we are put here to serve Nigerian citizens. It is often said, and I believe, that the legislature is the only arm of government that is closest to the people. Since the legitimacy of our mandate as members is dependent on the people and their continued support is necessary for us to achieve our constitutional responsibilities. It is important that we, as a collective body, embrace and enhance our relationship and engagement with them, bearing in mind that 4 years from now, which from my experience is usually closer than it seems, we would be recalled to account for our stewardship. Consequently, I will lead the drive to facilitate better understanding of the legislature and bridge the communication gap between the Nigerian legislature and citizens. This way, Nigerians will better understand the role of legislative arm of government and work with us for better accountability and responsiveness. In addition, I will strive to ensure that we adopt a public communications strategy and process that will keep Nigerians informed of the work, activities, accomplishments, and challenges of the National Assembly. Some of the methods in which we will accomplish this will include the use of modern information technology to improve virtual access to National Assembly, as well as joint discussions and decisions with our bureaucrats on improving citizens' physical access to National Assembly, while at the same time maintaining much needed security. As members, we cannot ignore the false or negative perceptions we as legislators continually battle. There is, however, another saying that one's understanding is correlative to their perception, which for me implies that perceptions can always be corrected to improve understanding. Secondly, improve internal communication and members' relationships. From my experience, I have learned that our relationship with the House impacts our work and effectiveness. Consequently, I will run an inclusive, responsive, and transparent leadership to foster harmony in the House. I will ensure that as much as possible, there is conducive environment for legislative work and collaboration across party and ideological lines. I will work with my fellow members of this Honorable Ninth Assembly to uphold the equality of members and their rights to make contributions on the floor of the House. This will include ensuring that every member, irrespective of rank, is treated with dignity and respect. Feedback from members has always revealed that low capacity and unavailable resources are some of the major challenges to members' legislative work. We will therefore work to the best of our ability to ensure that members' skill and knowledge base is enhanced via capacity building opportunities both home and abroad, and that members and committees have the human and material resources they need to accomplish their legislative task. On this issue, I shall also pursue the following: encourage members to work together effectively in an atmosphere of trust, understanding, and respect, encourage consensus building, and promote efforts to negotiate differences and find compromises to differences across party lines. Treat new members with respect and uphold the quality of every member. Ensure that the Speaker's office is responsive to members' welfare and concerns. Improve international communications facilities. In relation to this, I will make deliberate efforts to scale up the ICT platforms for better and more effective and efficient communication within and outside the House. The e-Parliament platform promised in previous assemblies will be fully realized. Thirdly, adoption of a legislative agenda with clear framework for compliance and monitoring. Since the seventh House of Representatives, we have adopted a legislative agenda to guide our work. These agendas contain the priorities and commitments to be achieved before the end of the tenure of the House. I must say that this has been a wonderful initiative by the House, which I intend to continue and improve upon, while we have made giant strides towards accomplishing our 8th House of Representatives legislative agenda. There are still gaps, especially with respect to tracking compliance by committees and monitoring of results. I will begin by engaging various stakeholders to seek their input to ensure that the agenda for the 9th House is even more robust and promising. Such engagements and consultations are key for agenda setting and obtaining ownership, buying support from the citizens we represent. I will ensure that our legislative goals are SMART, meaning specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And I will set up a committee to monitor implementation, compliance, and tracking of our legislative agenda goals. Number 4, improved lawmaking. Conclusion of our standing priority bills from the 8th House of Representatives. A number of key reform bills were proposed, considered, and passed in the 8th House of Representatives. Chief amongst them are the Constitution Amendment bills, which contain significant amendments such as financial independence for our counterpart in the states, that is, state assemblies. The successful adoption of these laws and their assent into law was indeed a milestone moment for the 8th Assembly. Unfortunately, a number of some other constitutional amendments were not assented to, while some other key reform bills were not concluded or adopted by the 8th House, with its time running out. This includes bills such as the Police Reform Bill, which was just passed, Petroleum Industry and Governance Bill, PIGB, Universal Basic Education Act Amendment Bill, the National Assembly Budget and Research Office, that's NABRO Bill, Audit Bill, Witness Protection Program Bill, etc. There were also many bills touching on security, employment, improvement of the business environment, etc., that were either not concluded or vetoed. I will work to ensure that these bills are revisited. First of all, I will ensure that in the early session of the 9th National Assembly, we will work to adopt a common position on what bills are priority and should be included in the legislative agenda, and then set up time frame for achieving their passage. In relation to this, we will continue to ensure citizen participation and access like we have always done in our lawmaking by facilitating citizens' input on bills via public hearings and stakeholder consultation. We also work with the NAS bureaucracy to revive legislative scrutiny of bills. It has been observed that oftentimes several bills touching on the same subject matter having cross-cutting or overlapping objectives with existing legislation or not aligning with the executive's overall policy goals or the country's international commitments. To ensure that there is consistency and coherence in our lawmaking, we will work with our bureaucrats and external experts as needed to obtain sound advice and direction on these issues so as to scale up the quality of bills adopted, to ensure that time for deliberation is apportioned to the most important issues, that most importantly, to ensure that our legislative outputs are in conformity with our legislative agenda and the executive as well. To further accomplish this, I will pursue a robust and comparative relationship with the executive so that we are both on the same page while maintaining the independence and autonomy of the House of Representatives. Number 5, Constitution and Electoral Reform. The 8th National Assembly passed widely acclaimed alterations to the 1999 Constitution. Examples include alterations that provided for reduction in age to key elective offices, stipulating timelines for determination of pre-election matters, and granting financial autonomy to state legislators. The 8th Assembly also adopted far-reaching and progressive Electoral Act amendments. However, this progress was truncated by the refusal of the presidential assent to the bill, following experiences from the just concluded general elections. It is agreed by stakeholders that electoral reforms have become even more pressing. We will therefore initiate the process of revisiting these issues and ensuring that they get concluded as early as possible within the life of the 9th Assembly. Number 6, security sector reform. Nigeria is today faced with security challenges. I will work with my colleagues in the House to support and intensify support to the executive arm of government and our gallant men and women in the police, army, and other security services to enable them to be better able to respond to current national security challenges. I plan to work with you to ensure that the legislative agenda of the 9th House contains a clear strategy to improve the security situation of citizens. We will ensure that our bills and oversight effectively respond to security challenges, comply with best practices on security sector reform, and are in the best interest and security of Nigerians. Number 7, improve legislative oversight. Oversight is an important duty and power we have been given by the Constitution. Our oversight of executive programs and activities is acknowledged by all as being critical to effective performance and good governance in Nigeria. While I believe the 8th National Assembly accomplished a lot with respect to oversight, more work needs to be done. For instance, our experience as members has been that oftentimes we have not performed this role optimally due to our self-censorship. In order to avoid rocking the boat, the result is that by so doing, we unwittingly contribute to the perpetuation of weak and unaccountable executive institutions. Furthermore, there have been instances where the legislator's input is not sought in the development of government programs or policies, even though we are eventually approached and expected to approve funds for the execution of same. As the arm of government that is closest to the people, we are better placed to contribute to this process, and I will strive to ensure that we enhance relationship with the executive to bring about collaboration in policy and program development that is dependent on public funds. A concomitant responsibility here is to ensure that funds that are or have been appropriated are used for what they are meant for. Consequently, I will work to ensure that our oversight powers are fully utilized to detect waste, corruption, incompetence, and misuse of public funds. I realize that this requires that our committees are better strengthened and are adequately resourced. Lastly, strengthened House committee and processes. If I am elected Speaker, if I am elected as a Speaker, I would work collectively with my fellow members to ensure that our committee structure and processes are strengthened for better effectiveness and optimum delivery. I will begin by ensuring that members' assignment to committees is based on competence, strength, and knowledge, taking into cognizance their interest and appreciation of the subject matter of our committee's jurisdiction and their willingness to apply themselves to the task at hand. I will also work with members and the bureaucracy to ensure that clerks and committees are well matched so that their skills are mutually reinforcing. Another way I will work to strengthen our committee processes is through enforcing the adoption of well-articulated work plans by committees to direct their operations, as well as enforcing the use of monitoring and evaluation (M&E) tools to assess our work and document lessons learned. In consultation with our colleagues in the Senate, I will encourage a joint oversight, hearings on programs and agencies, as well as joint public hearings where necessary. B, oversight collaboration, cooperation, and timely information sharing between committees and the House and with the Senate counterparts on budgetary and other legislative activities. C, streamlining activities of committees to promote coordination and avoid duplication and conflict. To further strengthen committee work, I will work with the NAS management bureaucracy to improve the physical working conditions in the House, including the purchase of necessary work tools and equipment for members and support staff, to ensure that our chamber is truly a modern-day chamber, one that is comparable to other parliaments in advanced democracies. I will pursue the use of ICT in the daily conduct of legislative activities of the House, including developing the e-Parliament platform that was promised in the 8th Assembly legislative agenda, but not fully delivered. I will aim to achieve an efficient and electronically based chamber that meets the expectation of members, staff, and is in line with international best practice. On a final note, dear pressmen, it is our job as legislators to perform our duties with an eye on the long-term future, to look over the horizon beyond the next election, beyond party, religious, and ethnic affiliations, and ensure that as best as we can, the decisions we make today will make Nigeria a better place for our children and for future generations to live in. I promise to work with you to accomplish this using these privileged platforms that we have been given to ensure that the effectiveness of the House of Representatives and its duty to promote good governance for citizens is strengthened. With our joint effort and collaboration, we can work to build on the successes of our predecessors to promote the independence of the House and the National Assembly at large, and reinforce its status as a pillar of democracy and the people's institution. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Any questions?
I will answer these 3 questions at once. And I'll start by saying that, of course, I am an APC member. I ran my election on APC platform. And I also know that APC as a party is guided by the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that's why if you look at my first opening statement to the second page, I said that I, as Honorable Kiruka Onyejiocha, and the people of Southwest and the Nigerian women are hinging our discussions on the promise of APC as a party, and the president in particular, that he's going to run an all-inclusive government, and that women will be carried along during this second tenure of office. And that's why I didn't want the men to follow me. I brought the only leader of 8 House of Assembly as a woman. When I came here, you say some members have come, but I politely told them that I just want to stand with one woman who is a leader of 8 Assembly. And having said that, all of you know very well that Mr. President is a good man. That Mr. President, even before this time, had taken his vice president from Southeast. From Southeast by Okadibo. Okadibo was his vice president and all that. And so there's no way president will sit down and tell people that Southeast does not matter. And I also know that we proved from 2015 when they came here and they said nobody was elected from Southeast, that they wanted to give us, even if it's one person, Senate President, that we didn't make it. Even Speaker from the House of Representatives, that we didn't make it. And of course, you know that we have 3 arms of government, that moving forward, there is no way our party will not want to work with members of House of Representatives, including people from opposition party, because you're talking about governance now. Elections are over. So it's about governance. And in governance, you must include people. In governance, you must chart your course, and you need everybody to work together for you to achieve the next level. And so, I respect my party chairman, and that's why I said that they have stated what they intend to do, or the way they want the Ninth Assembly leadership to look like. But I'm appealing to them that it's not yet late to resign their decision to include a woman to create the two geopolitical zones that was left out ab initio. But now, I think maybe they've given Southwest something, but Southeast, nothing was given in presiding positions, and South-South. And so, I also know that the leader of the House, Honorable Femi Bajamila, good gentleman, but there's a time in somebody's life that any leader who is a leader indeed will pay sacrifice. And that time is now. For the leader of my party and the leader of 8th Assembly, he was minority leader and now majority leader. And so he's a leader in all rights. And this opportunity comes only once in a leader's time, when a leader will look at self and say, it's not about me, it's about Nigeria. And I believe that Nigeria needs healing. The land needs healing. And so somebody has to pay sacrifice to say, let us move to the next level. Let us help Mr. President. Even if it means considering that, let speakership go to another zone so that the country will move forward, so that the government and our president will work seamlessly with every zone to deliver the goods that he has promised us during elections. And I know that this opportunity comes only but once. And so I believe that discussions are ongoing. The party have said so. We are party people. I'm a member of APC. I ran under very difficult terrain and I won my election. And I'm still standing today as a member of APC. But I'm saying that our leaders should do the needful and advise the party properly to say, I understand I understand what the party means for me. I understand that the party have seen my capacity, but to move this parliament forward, to move Nigeria to the next level, let me concede and let's all have a very important discussions moving forward. So for me, that's just it.
Thank you.